What's up, everyone? Speedy here. In this 1v1 video, we're going to be doing 2 live games and 1 replay review. Let's get into it. Here we are in game number 1. Got this pad. There's nothing I can do. That's a good job. That whole play happens because he gets that boost, and then I just can't really do anything. Let's bring it back. And he shoots it back. Damn. That's tough. I honestly thought that was going to work out, but... I get a free ball. Okay. Somehow I dodged that. Let's do passive. I need to really commit. I can't be kind of scared to go because he's just gonna take advantage of that space. A lot of game to go. Should've seen that coming. Should've fucking seen that coming. That was poor. Super, super poor play. Didn't really think about the bump play from him. Nice. Let's just stay focused. Good 50. You see how if I be patient and just not going, and when I do go, it's just a super gentle pop that's slow, and the opponent's not expecting it. Fortunate miss. I get a free ball. I can take my time. Actually could have shot that. Could take time. Oh, I didn't want to flip there. That's annoying. If I didn't flip there, I could have gone for a really good air dribble. It's not really a shootable angle. And because he's trying too hard, he gets scored on. Tries to go for some kind of reset play. Doesn't work. And I missed a pad. Bro, fuck off. God damn it, dude. It's so dumb. Missing that pad. Still winnable. And he's going to win for that. Here we are in game number 2 off the back of that crapshoot of a loss. It's actually so frustrating. That was really well played. Really, really good play. Like, placing for the 50 and just being aware of what the opponent wants. And then going for the fake challenges there just to put pressure. Grab this pad. I cannot go for that mid boost. That would be absolutely, totally one of the worst mistakes. Actually didn't think I was going to get beat there. It was really dangerous. It's too passive. I really struggle with that particular type of play. It's just difficult trying to figure out the spacing for a shadow. Seems everybody wants to do fake kickoffs, and everybody wants to give me a free ball. Maybe you're going to do that. Flip it this way. Nicely done. Tough angle, but it works. Let's pick up here. Now I have free ball, possession, and also plenty of boost to work with. No bump there is really sad. yes bump there is really good. I'll take it. Power slide cuts and a couple mistakes. And that was a terrible position. Yeah, it was super high committal to go for that, but we tried. Load boost in a dream. That was really poor. Not what I wanted. But okay. Wanted to give him a freebie. That's fantastic, Speedy. And I get a free gold because of it. Get a clutch. And shouldn't have gone for that side boost. And the score's gonna fuck off, bro. God damn it. Oh, let's recover. That was almost kind of an insane wizard. Let's pick up here. It's not really an angle that I could really do much with. He gets rewarded with that. That should not have worked. Genuinely, that should not have worked. Grab this pad. That should have worked. Oh my god, dude. Once in a nutshell. I'm down bad here in the low diamond one. Okay, here we are in the replay portion of the video. And this was, I'm not gonna lie guys, just played this game and this was a heater of a game. Some big mistakes, some big plays. I think it has a little bit of everything at this point. A a little bit of tilt at the very end, as you'll kind of see pretty far into the game, but things do work out. So this here is a really unfortunate goal, and the reason it happens is this right here. So pay attention. I'm going to put it down on super slow speed, but pay attention to the way I position my car right here. You see, I'm already in the air, but I'm way to the right. Don't do this. Don't be this far to the right, because if your opponent's also to the right, what's going to happen is it's going to boom left, as it did here. What you want to learn to do is very simple, and it's learning to read where your opponent is and where they're going to be. And so what that means is pay attention to the name. If the name looks like it's a bit on the right, try to be a little bit more to the left so you can counter that direction change and it won't boom the way it did there. That's not a luck thing. A lot of people say like, oh, that was lucky. That's not luck. That was just bad positioning, and that's the physics of the game. So imagine you have like one car and another car, right? And you have a flat point here and you have a flat point here. So essentially what's happening is as the ball comes up, where do you think it's going to pinch to? It's going to go that way. And so because it's going to go that way, what's going to happen is if you're flipping in a direction that's really off and you're just not in control of the flip, that's how it's going to end. Is you're going to be out of position because you're going to flip and you're going to be way out to the side. Opponent's going to get possession potentially, and in this case a shot, and you won't be able to recover. So think about the way you're handling these 50-50s. These are all really important parts of play. This is a good job here. This is really good. Opponent was very aggro this whole game, just a lot of constant early challenges. They put themselves in a lot of out of position places. This is a really unfortunate position to find myself in, unfortunately. What I could do differently here, like I don't mind this, but use the flip to recover. And so essentially what you want to do is, because I tried to land here, I lost momentum and I cut across. That's not what you want to do. When you're kind of like in the air, flip, do like essentially like a right side spot, like a speed flip or a side flip, and then go in this direction, and then you can recover up the wall and go from there. But because I tried to like catch myself, it put me essentially, even when I was holding power slide, I wasn't holding it well. Good demo dodge there, saw that pretty early. Could have technically shot there, but it was just really awkward, and I just didn't really have like the mental space to be able to make it like a good shot, so I just didn't go for it. Opponent's trying too hard. You see how they're just constantly aggressive, and they're just being kind of like brain dead about the challenges. If I got a bit more power there, that definitely could have gone in. This is good pressure though. I like the pressure management here. Here, just going for the 50, being aware of where the opponent is, trying to watch for that, and getting a free touch. This is good pressure, get a good bump. Nice. And here, just take time to get control. It's really easy to rush that. Take your time, make sure you have a good control play to work with, and make it a lot easier for you to work with there. This is really poor. You want to be really careful about flipping this far to the side. I had the right idea for a flip, but the problem was the direction wasn't enough. And what that means is right here, you see how typically you make a correction. And so I'm going to actually go into 25% speed. So pay attention here. And so as I get set up here, what you're going to see is this position. So pay attention to the way I flip here. You'll see I make the correction here. But the problem is I don't do enough of a correction, so it's too little. And what it does is essentially it locks my momentum as that way. And you see I go all the way to the left there. That's why that's not a really good setup there. You want to try to correct a bit more. Those corner kickoffs can be a little bit awkward because you're at a much steeper angle. You just want to really give yourself the space to be able to set it up more effectively. This is good here. Good decision. One of the things you want to avoid doing, don't go for that mid boost. It's a really common mistake to go for the mid boost. What can happen is you put yourself further out of position, and it gives the opponent more space to work with. Here, good patience, just trying to keep the opponent from really having space to do whatever they want. This is really poor. If you find you're going to be getting beat to the play there, also try to save boost. This is not really ideal. Like here, what you could do instead is as they come up here, you don't have to use that extra boost. Try to conserve maybe like another 15 to 20 more boost. I wouldn't be 0. I'd have myself a lot extra boost to play with. Good pickups here on the boost. That's pretty good. Opponent made a big mistake here. You want to be really careful about like turning away and then getting a separated pop like that, because if the opponent's close enough, like in my case, I was close enough, I could read that and then get a shot immediately afterwards. So be really careful about doing that kind of play. Good kickoff win. I wanted to go for an air dribble there, like a ground air dribble, but I accidentally like popped myself too high. A way to fix that is instead of like boosting and then kind of like as the ball's not really super high up, what you want to do is be a little bit more under the ball and then start making your jump play. Because what's going to happen is you're going to be able to like say the ball's here. You're going to be able, instead of like being like at this point here, you'll be at this point here. And so you'll be just a little bit more below the play and you'll be able to get like a little bit more verticality. And that's what allows you to kind of set up an actual air dribble. So kind of think about that as an option. Goes for the reset. Could have gone for a backflip, but that's fine. It's a good boost grab. Opponent's going to stay active with the play. That's fine. I don't mind that play. That actually almost worked, but all I had to do was just be a little bit more, like have a bit more of a cut, and I'd have been totally fine there. Just too dangerous of a position. If you find your opponent's going to like continue early challenging, that's the kind of like their way of playing here, don't try to like get a control play when you know they're just going to early chow, and that's all they're going to do. It's a really obvious play. Be very careful about that. It's a dumb mistake that can easily get you scored on. And because of that, it puts me in this like awkward defensive tangle here. I do very well to stay set up here. This is a really unfortunate miss, because if I didn't miss this, this would have been another goal. It's awkward, but what you could do instead is here, take your time. The opponent's like, pretty sure they're 0 boost. Yeah, they're 0 boost. I can use boost a little later, set up the play, and it gives me time to read the bounce. I could even go like here. I can still get that pad. That's not a bad like pad grab, because the opponent doesn't have a play. See, you grab the pad, and that's the only way the opponent can recover. And if I used a little less boost early on there, I actually have more, like, if I use some of the boost later, I'd actually be in a better position, because the ball would have bounced lower and it wouldn't be so high up, and that would be easier for them to read as well. So that would have been a little bit of an easier time. So it's a mistake, not the end of the world, but these are just little things that can improve you. I understand what I want to go for there. Tried to get a pinch there to kind of pop it, but also get a setup here. Once again, opponent's very aggro on 0 boost. Seems to be a common theme. I wonder what it is. I did a bad job here. What you want to do is, like, the idea is correct, but the execution was really terrible. Like, fake here, but try to be careful about, like, how late. It's the timing of, like, how I went for it. He had momentum, full boost, and I couldn't get back in time. I get scored on. So just be really careful about those things. Those are mistakes that can really cost you. Opponent was really fast. They put themselves in a good spot. Look at that. They're, of course, going to go for another bump. Very obvious. This is a bad touch, and it leads directly to the goal, as you can see. What you want to do, if you're going to go for a touch, you either commit to get a touch, and then, like, instead of being this far under it, you try to be more to the side of it. So I'll show you a little bit of a better angle here. So as it comes up here, so instead of being at this point here, this far below, try to be like maybe a car width and a half higher. So like right up this point, and then get contact. Because instead of scooping it out, you'll actually scoop it forward more, and you'll be able to kind of stay in line with the play, and it'll make it a little easier for you to get a better play to work with. Because of this, it created incredible amount of separation there, and just the opponent had a free goal. Can't go for that corner boost, be too dangerous. Now I can go for it because I have a position that's safer. Early jump there just gives me space to work with. Opponent tries to get crazy with the play. I don't mind going for what I did there. This is really not a good decision at all. This is fine. This is a good challenge. It's not a problem. But the opponent beeline to their boost, knowing they needed boost. If I kind of set myself up a bit better, you can do this instead. So you make this play. But instead of trying to float, drop down to the ground early, use your camera, look left, and then you can go for that boost, because you'll get there earlier. You can speed flip, get here before the opponent can. But because I'm still floating here, look how much wasted time there is. I ended up landing here. I could have landed there. I've been already up here by the time this play would have happened. Grab that boost, the opponent still would be 0, and I would have a play to work with, and that would be a much better play. Because of that, I put myself in a really poor spot, 0 boost, and make it way harder for me to get anything kind of set up here. It's good 50s. I don't mind the idea there for the bump, but the problem is the way I did it was really poor, and also just not a good recovery. Even worse position there. That should have gotten me scored on. Does eventually, but still really bad. Because you see that just by being passive, they get that space. Unfortunately, bump doesn't connect and they get a goal. This is where I started getting really tilted, as you'll probably see in a second here with the camera work. Definitely was annoyed there. It's definitely a really good delay. And good power shot. Could have been a tiny bit better, but still very much works for the situation. I should have gotten, I'm pretty sure here there's a play I should have gotten scored on if I remember correctly. Yeah. This is a absolutely god-awful touch. This is such a bad touch. The reason it's so bad is because the way I flipped to it was super awkward. And I'm flipping up and then I'm going like that, and it's creating this kind of direction change that's just not safe. You see, I'll just look at you want to think about the recovery after you make a play. You have to think about the recovery after a play. If you make a play like this, you need to think about where you're going to recover. The opponent should have won the game. He fucked it up and doesn't get the goal there, but that should have lost. That right there should have been a loss. Do a good job getting that boost. That can take time. If I didn't miss there, that would have been actually a good shot to work with, but really unfortunate. Now the opponent was kind of awkward. Now they're kind of in a bad spot. This is dangerous. If the opponent got a little bit better power and they didn't panic touch there, that would have been in the net. Kind of think about when these plays are going to lead to scoring opportunities for your opponent. Poor touch. Didn't have to boom it away like that. Could take my time. And this is a good way to end the game. Good control touch and finish the game. So the lesson in this particular match is 2 things. There are 2 things to kind of think about this. Firstly, is being aware of how passive you are with an opponent that's really aggressive. It's okay to respect the space, but also do not put yourself in weird positions trying to figure out what to do. You either know what you got to do, or you give yourself space to go for 50s, and you just play it based off 50-50s. The other lesson number 2, is when you're trying to use your boost, manage your boost better. One of the things that I saw there wasn't that I was using too much boost in a lot of plays, but I was using boost too early in a lot of plays. Because I'm using it too early in a lot of plays, my momentum is a little bit too, essentially I'm going too fast on entry, and it's not letting me get set up into a position that's more accurate. And so there were a couple times there I could have easily, when the game was 3-1, it was later in the game, I could have actually, and it bounced over and I missed. Like that, I could have scored that. It was a completely open net. Opponent was in my corner with 0 boost. I had space, I had everything. All I had to do was use boost just a little later, and that totally would have worked. If you enjoyed this video and learned something, I'd ask you to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Speed D Man out.